The Mello TV Evening News at 8 is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Coronavirus is in Jamaica, and I know you feel scared and worried. But you can't let COVID-19 divide us. Coronavirus infects all kinds of people. It doesn't discriminate. So why should you? When someone coughs or sneezes or shows signs of the virus, tell them to call 888-1-LOVE immediately. And remember, stay 3 feet away, but don't attack or disrespect them, because we're all in this thing together. Come on, Jamaica, cut the hate and don't discriminate. Let us stand together and fight COVID-19 as one family, one nation.
Tonight, People's National Party President and Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, today named an interim shadow cabinet. In celebration of International Day of Peace, the Violence Prevention Alliance VPA hosted virtual events under the theme Shaping Peace Together.
Alright, so basically what I would want for Jamaica is that for Jamaica to be crime free, because once we have less crime, we can survive, we can be well.
56-year-old Delroy Blake, a taxi operator of Racecourse Grange Hill in Westmoreland, has been reported missing since September 17. And in light of increased flooding in St. Andrew, a team from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation that includes members of the City Engineering Department and building inspectors toured sections of the parish on the weekend.
The city engineer and his team have come, they have done their inspections, and they are presently preparing estimates to see what can be done in the shortest space of time.
Good evening. People's National Party PNP President and Leader of the Opposition, Dr. Peter Phillips, today named an interim shadow cabinet in order to facilitate the effective functioning of the opposition in Parliament until the party elects a new leader. In a statement, the PNP says that consequently and in the meantime, all the members of the previous shadow cabinet have been asked to maintain their existing portfolio oversight responsibilities. Those responsibilities that were exercised previously by members who were unsuccessful in the election have been reassigned to newly elected members in the House and the Senate. Still serving in the same capacity are Mark Golding, opposition spokesperson on finance and the public service, Fitz Jackson as opposition spokesperson on national security, and Lisa Hanna for foreign affairs and foreign trade. Other spokespersons include Lothian Cousins for agriculture and rural development, Natalie Nita for local government, and Denise Daly for youth, gender affairs, entertainment, and sports. In celebration of International Day of Peace, the Violence Prevention Alliance VPA hosted virtual events under the theme Shaping Peace Together. According to Professor Elizabeth Ward, chair of the VPA, this year's theme encourages everyone to stand together and shape peace. She said that throughout this pandemic, persons should come together and spread compassion, kindness, and hope. Our news team took to the streets to ask persons what they envision for Jamaica as we celebrate International Day of Peace, and here's what they had to say.
Alright, for peace in Jamaica, what I would like to see is that we need to find a strategic plan that is good enough to combat crime in the country. The crime rate is getting way too high for the current climate right now.
Alright, so basically what I would want for Jamaica is that for Jamaica to be crime free, because once we have less crime, we can survive, we can be well, and peace will be practiced on a day-to-day basis.
It's crime and more job for the people, for peace there. Yeah, especially young people like me, less crime and more work. So we can have different opportunity to launch out. You understand me? So we want more peace. So in order for that, you have to make the young people more active, meaning doing things that can occupy them time more than doing unnecessary things.
The only way I can get peace is better home training for the youths them, because everything starts from the home, and better jobs, more opportunity. And that's how you can get peace in Jamaica.
What me want to see for a peaceful Jamaica is that people in their own community them come together and decide, say, yo, we are going to stop the crime and stop the violence and all our mates, isn't it?
In other news, the police are seeking the public's assistance to locate 56-year-old Delroy Blake, a taxi operator of Racecourse Grange Hill in Westmoreland, who has been missing since September 17. He is of dark complexion, medium build, about 5 feet 5 inches tall. Reports from the Morgan's Bridge police are that about 7 a.m., Blake was last seen leaving home for work, wearing a light blue shirt with the words Westmoreland Taxi Association printed on it, black pants and a pair of black shoes. He has not been heard from since. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Delroy Blake is being asked to contact the Morgan's Bridge police at 876-955-1375, police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Detectives assigned to the Kingston Western Division are probing the circumstances surrounding the murder of a man and a woman on Chestnut Lane, Kingston 14 yesterday. Another man was also injured in the incident. Dead are 35-year-old electrician Godwin Morris, otherwise called Iwayne, and 27-year-old Nicola Pink, otherwise called Trudy, both of Chestnut Lane in Kingston 14. Reports from the Denham Town Police are that about 3:26 a.m., Morris was inside his house when he allegedly heard explosions, went to investigate and was shot several times. Residents called the police, who discovered that 3 persons had been shot. All 3 injured persons were taken to the hospital where Morris and Pink were pronounced dead and the other person treated and released. A top-level investigation has been launched following the shooting of a police sergeant while on duty in Manly Meadows, Kingston 2 on Saturday. Reports from the Elliotstown Road Police are that about 5:46 a.m., the sergeant, accompanied by a constable, responded to a robbery in the community. On their arrival, 2 armed men were seen standing on a roadway. On approach of the lawmen, the assailants opened gunfire, which caused the officers to take evasive action and return fire. The sergeant received a gunshot wound to his shoulder before the gunmen escaped in the area. The officer was taken to hospital where he was treated and released. The constable was not injured during the incident. Meanwhile, the police are appealing to anyone who may have information on the 2 men involved in the attack on the lawmen to contact the Ellison Road Criminal Investigations Branch at 876-928-4200, Crime Stop at 311, or the nearest police station. Juliet Wilson, a vice principal at Kingston College, KC, died yesterday. Ms. Wilson passed away yesterday morning in the University Hospital of the West Indies. Ms. Wilson had reportedly contracted the coronavirus COVID-19 and had underlying medical conditions. The school's principal, Dave Mary, advised the staff of her passing yesterday. Principal Mary says as the academic vice principal, Ms. Wilson played an integral role in the overall academic development of the school. In other news, in light of increased flooding in St. Andrew, a team from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation that included members of the City Engineering Department and building inspectors toured sections of the parish on the weekend. Here's Khalid May with more on this story.
A team from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation KSAMC visited sections of St. Andrew on the weekend in light of increased flooding occurring in the parish. Councillor for the Trafalgar Division in Southeast St. Andrew, Carrie Douglas, said that following complaints of increase in flooding, the team's visit is to inspect and decide on what can be done to fix the issues in a short space of time.
We are presently within the Golden Triangle, which includes areas such as Clevedon Avenue, Donhead Avenue, Hillcrest Avenue, and also Walford Close. We've been receiving some complaints about areas that are flooding with high intensity rains in a short space of time. There are various issues which include road infrastructure that needs to be rehabilitated. There's a section of Cleveland Road, for example, that needs to be lifted, and there are some drains that need to be installed to deal with stormwater runoff. The city engineer and his team have come, they have done their inspections, and they are presently preparing estimates to see what can be done in the shortest space of time. Also, there are developers that continue to breach drainage plans approved, who either build over drains, therefore compromising the drains, or who in other ways build and block the drainage. And this is what is causing the problem. It's a perennial problem. It's actually been a problem for quite a number of years, but we're working hard now to come up with the resources to find a solution to resolve the issues very quickly.
Ms. Douglas also expressed that there will be enforcement notices that will be sent out to developers to ensure that they install proper drainage systems for the buildings being undertaken.
The way that the construction would affect the drainage or the lack of effective drainage on the lots is when they breach what has been approved by plan. So on every single development or construction plan, there are plans for drainage, which may include the installation of drains, which may include the installation of soakaways, so that when there's an intense rain on the lot, the soakaways will absorb it. And also that the lots are designed for natural stormwater runoff and not for disposal through their lots into the gully, because that is not legal, and that's also a challenge that we're facing. Where the developers are concerned, there are enforcement notices that will be sent out after a very thorough and comprehensive audit is done of the area and of each development that would have gone up within the last 5 to 10 years. And we're looking mainly at the multi-family developments, because this neighborhood is predominantly residential, so it's really multi-family residential developments. And there are other areas that have higher density commercial developments that we're also looking at.
Ms. Douglas further urged developers to adhere to what has already been approved on their building plans.
My appeal to the developers is to build according to what has been approved on your plans. Also, I am going to try to ensure that within the council that the monitoring process is improved, so that the construction process is monitored at different stages, and so that there's a post-inspection phase where we will be able to discover these breaches before it gets to the stage where persons are negatively affected by it. One of the things that will clearly have to happen is that there are a few drains that may have to be re-engineered completely, which means that the developers will receive orders or notices for them to be rehabilitated, for them to be re-engineered and perhaps even reconstructed. There are a few that need to be expanded as well. There are some pipes that may have been built for the standard of a single family dwelling initially, as opposed to now what exists, which is many multi-family units or many higher density commercial development.
Reporting for Mello TV News, I am Colleen May.
Thanks, Colleen. The results of the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate CSEC and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination CAPE are to be released tomorrow. The Caribbean Examinations Council CXC says it will officially release the results in a press conference tomorrow. In the statement, the council says candidates are reminded to have their center number and candidate number on hand to access their results at cxc.org. Some 58,720 students were registered to sit the CSEC examinations and 16,184 to sit the CAPE, which began on July 13 and ended on August 4. In other news, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett has announced that the Tourism Workers Pension Scheme, which has earned over $5 million in profits, is to commence the admission of persons at the beginning of October. The plan covers all workers in the tourism sector from age 18 to 59 years, whether permanent, contractual, or self-employed. These include hotel workers as well as persons employed in related industries, such as craft vendors, tour operators, red cap porters, contract carriage operators, and workers at attractions. The benefits will be payable at age 65 years or older. And those were the stories making news. I'll return with the recap. We'll now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with sports.